What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Alright, alright, alright. Alright guys, I haven't streamed in freaking months, man. This is a late stream. This is gonna be a short stream. It's gonna serve as a test. Which I always say this and I'm never consistent, but we're gonna see in the following weeks what's gonna happen. I might start streaming on my art channel more so. I'm only doing it here since this is fighting game related art. As you can tell from the title, this is a stream of me making art for an arcade stick. My arcade stick specifically, but you know, I guess it's cool. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just about to be drawing a little bit, seeing how this works, you know, getting used to streaming again. Oh hell no, what the hell is that about? That was a little too loud. That was a little too loud. So I'm gonna change the settings on this. Right, and I have a freaking massive headache. Who knows how long I'm gonna be on here, but there was an option for play a sound whenever you see a new message, which, how the hell do I change it? Oh, I think that's on, oh fuck, I think that's on like Streamlabs or something. This is annoying. What is this on? I don't even know. Oh. I think this is on Streamlabs. Volume for no chats. No, it's not here. Chat sound, no. Yeah, okay, I have to go Streamlabs real quick. Okay. I don't even remember what site I used to stream. I don't even know how this stream is working right now, to be honest with you. It's been so long. And I feel like streaming is obviously such a lucrative thing for people. That's an understatement, but to where it feels like every time I start streaming again, there's something new that people use, or some new plugin OBS, or some new site. It's like a constantly evolving kind of, I guess, you know, just industry in general, I guess. Oh my god, I have to sign in again. Okay, cool. Right. Yeah, we can do that. I did use Streamlabs, right? All right. So chat box sound. Somewhere. You can't see it on screen, but somewhere here. Oh, here it is. No, sir. We're getting out of here. Save settings. I think that should maybe be good. the heck. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I do that up here. That could probably go over here. So yeah, briefly, like I said, this is just kind of like a art that I'm making for my arcade stick, which features kind of characters that I've mained from various games. Well, really any fighting game that I played where I felt like I've declared a main that I also use on arcade stick. So even if I play a fighting game and you know, I pick up a character, but it's not used with an arcade stick, let's say like a Smash game, then it's not included here. So essentially I have a lot of characters here. Evil Ken, Oniakuma, Charlie, MVC2, also on Marvel, actually Street Fighter 5. X-23, Kagura Muski from Blaze Blue Central Fiction. We got Sabretooth from Marvel 2. Ghostblade from DNF Duel. Who is this? This is Nakali, Street Fighter 5. Giovanna, Strive. With the Wolf 2. Second half of Ghostblade. And then we have Beautiful Joe. Let's go. So right now I have like 7 days to complete this. I'm actually giving my deadlines these days. I know it's crazy. It's called being an adult. Should have tried that maybe 10 years ago. But I'm actually giving myself deadlines this time. And so I have 7 days to complete this. Now you may wonder, wow, I mean, you have the line work, but where's the coloring? It's just like, okay, well, I have 7 days to do any and all things to come. Ooh, I just remembered something. I gotta add art to the buttons. Damn, I got a lot to do. All right, I gotta get started. I know it's super late. I don't expect anybody to come, but we're gonna gradually be streaming earlier, you know. Let's go. So right now what I'm doing is just finalizing the line work on the characters, which I think I can do that in one session, even though there's so many characters, but, and I'm not adding effects. That's gonna be like the last part of the color. We're gonna add all the magic effects and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do here, and I remember I always have to raise the volume super down like that. Rocky funky lyrics, you trying to hear it? Man, I want to do streams where I just freestyle, honestly. That'd be cool. Okay, so first off, let's take this off. Old group, bam. So we're kind of done with Evil Ken's line work. So again, when I'm drawing, I just do things in chunks. So to me, it's like an assignment. No, like a science project. You just want to take care of one thing at a time, and it's in steps. It's a big deal, but you just break things down, right? So right now I'm just focused on the line work. That's all. So Evil Ken, I want him to be shooting a fireball right here, right? Also, let me just try and see everybody real quick. to see kind of what's going on here. All right. Anime is nothing but glorified degenerate slop. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, bro? Good to see you. Do I agree with that statement based on your moniker? Modern anime, yes. Which I call Chunk 3 anime. Modern anime, yes, I would agree. Not anime of all of like entirely, but contemporary anime, yeah, I agree. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm making this making a art to my arcade stick, which I'm trying to start into a business of drawing art for arcade sticks. We'll see how this works out. This is my first time doing it, but you know, I'm kind of drawing all my main characters to various fighting games, you know, and it ends with Beautiful Joe right here of just different fighting games I've played. So all right, so right now, like I said, I'm doing the line work, really just trying to finalize that. That's the thing with these art projects. You think you're done, you have something else to do. When I'm not even at the coloring stage yet, I'm just trying to do the raster line work, you know? So anyway, Evilkin's done, you know? Onyakuma's done. Actually, Evilkin isn't done. And you see layer management is very important as well. So take off everything. And then what do? We it's right to the point though. I like the name. It's like the name of a modern anime. When you look at the names of animes, like my cousin's wife discovered an ancient dungeon in level 3. That's like the name of the anime. So your name is kind of like a modern anime name. You know what I mean? Where you have the synopsis in the title. You have the description of the anime that is the title, you know? Okay, so what are we doing here? Layer management, man. It's hard for me to even see which layer I'm on. Okay, final can. And why is everything... See, this is all... This should be reversed, so... Oni right here, Charlie right here, Galuto, maybe Perfect X23 right there, Kagurabashi, First Ghost, Bam, Half Blade, Bam Bam, Bam, and then where's Beautiful right here. Cool. Would it? I mean, if you can already tell my bias, I don't really like newer anime like that. I give it a try though. Anytime somebody recommends me something, I definitely watch it. But was the fictional description I just gave, did that sound like a dope anime? Maybe. All right, so this guy right here. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I do use reference. Who doesn't? We're artists here. So this is what I got here. But I want him to shoot this fireball right here. Alright. Kaboom. Bam. Wait, what's the brush, right? Pen? How do you do this? And then red. I want him to shoot this fireball right here, right? I should remember the keyboard shortcuts to this stuff like this. Anyway, opinion on One Piece. That should be a podcast, bro. I can go on and on about that. Well, there's a lot of things going on. Obviously, you start off with where am I at my current, you know? I kind of dropped One Piece after I went the Wano arc. Spoiler alert. Well, I'm not even gonna say anything crazy, but I dropped it after that. I was a huge fan of One Piece in the past. It's done a lot to me personally. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hold the anime very deep in my heart. To be honest with you, I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. It's amazing anime, great moral lessons, good world building. great character development, probably the GOAT of character backstory development, you know. Obviously that's, to me, One Piece and DBZ, and just in terms of long form shonen, are like the two kings, you know. But I feel like at some point after the time skip, it kind of just was dragging on, and the quality was lessened, and the characters didn't feel as meaningful, and the side characters in later arcs felt less impactful. You know what I mean? And it didn't feel like it mattered as much. And then you start to get the question that One Piece critics ask: well, when are they going to find the One Piece? You know? Then you as a viewer start to ask that sometime during the Dressrosa arc, in my opinion. Because it just turned to Luffy and the crew just doing things and being shoehorned and dog sledded around through the through the truce that the Straw Hats made with the what is it, the Heart Pirates, whatever the Laws group is, during G something. I forget what that place was with the big children, you know. So I feel like the group didn't have a purpose as much. Versus, think about Alabasta, when you had, what was it, Nefertiti, Vivi, and the king there, right? And Pell and the man from Alabarna with the water, and that was, to me, One Piece was peaking the first kind of 3 arcs. In particular, Water 7 and Alabasta. Those are the 2 best ones, you know? Because every character felt more meaningful, you know? A lot more happens in the past and in the future, but it's not. It feels like slop, and to your name. Yeah. So what you just said, so, for sure. So to me, I'm at the point to where, dude, let's just let it finish and then I'll watch it. But I have so much more to say. I feel like, spoiler alert, when Luffy turned Gear 5, I felt like that just came out of nowhere, and that was the first time in One Piece where I felt like they just pulled something out of their ass. People say, oh yeah, I mean, you know, it was hinted at, you know. I mean, you saw the what was it, I forgot what the sun god is called in One Piece. You know what I'm talking about. But they said it was hinted at, and you know, Skypiea and stuff like this, but it just doesn't make sense how Luffy would have like a mythical fruit within him, and yet the Marines wouldn't react accordingly, knowing what the Gum Gum fruit entails. If the Marines already knew this, that doesn't make sense. They would consider him like enemy number 1, and there would be a much more of a reach to try and get the Straw Hats versus them being treated just like a normal group, you know? Literally, like, I can go in, but you know, it is what it is. Unfortunately, so much other anime sucks that it boosts the quality of One Piece, you know? Because no one else is even doing anything close to what One Piece is doing. So that's the situation you have when it comes to contemporary anime, in my opinion. All right. Anyway, I want him to be shooting a fireball. Let's increase that. I want him to be shooting a fireball, kind of like how you saw in the thing. So I don't know how I'm going to do this, but this is going to be an effect. But right now, just with line work. So what I need to do actually is do a curve tool. I don't ever use this stuff. We don't use digital drawing tools, even though we're digital drawing. We don't like, you know, this will be better to do something like that. All right. And this is why you need a artist glove, so you can smoothly make curves against whatever you're drawing on. let's see. So, all right. I'm gonna change the playlist too. I don't know what I'm gonna play too. Maybe some video game music. I'm about to get, this thing's not gonna make any money, but this is a stream test, to be honest with you. Or this playlist right here. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go. Only because I'm playing copyright music, that's why I said that. But it's more fits the evening vibe though. Since at least if you're here in America, then it's late, regardless of what coast you're in. Okay, so then, we're just gonna do the fireball like how it appears to be. But I'm not sure if this would be so big, but it's just gonna be like this. Again, I'm kind of using Evil Kin from moving right here. And oh, like that. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool right there. Boom, boom. How about that? Something like this, Just it should be a fireball in general. Maybe that's a little bigger. That's what she said. Let's go right there. Like that, something like that. But see, the thing is that's not. He's shooting this fireball. It's not coming from nowhere, so that's kind of too big, right? And so you need to shrink this, all right? And this needs to be facing toward where he's shooting, all right? But see, it's already uneven. Probably want to make it as small as possible. Essentially. So you want to make it as small as possible, kind of like that, I guess. And the layout is, what's the site? Arcadeshock.com? Something. But this is the layout of my stick. So this is, I'll have to adhere to that, right? So I mean, but I don't know how well that looks. But also you don't have to. Thanks, man. Yeah, I make a lot of different playlists, man. I'm definitely a music guy. In terms of, this is my what would you even call it? I don't know. A lot of city pop and a lot of like down tempo music, trip hop, stuff like that. Well, I already have everybody I want in the artwork, to be honest with you, which is kind of all of these characters. And there's like, how many characters are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 characters in here. So I already put everyone I need to put in here. But I'm going to have effects from other characters. It's just like a fighting game compilation artwork, really. You know, it's going to be pretty cool, if I say so myself. So I don't have to adhere to the reference. I can just make this tail shorter, unless I want the effects to be like, you know, it's gonna come out of his hand and it's gonna be swirling like this. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be some leaflets of fire here. That's possible, and that works actually. You know what I'm saying? That works, something like that. It's cool. And you want this to kind of merge into that. And as I'm talking myself into it, to be honest with you. That could be cool. That could work, honestly. And you know, this brush is good because it has texture, see that? So it makes like a Psycho and Bison type of violent energy, because this is Evilkin after all. You know? All you need to do is just put some, you know, just draw it kind of jaggedly. Alright. Well, I don't want to move Evilkin because I feel like he's placed in a perfect position already. You know what I mean? When it comes to the overall stick. Right? So you don't want to move him and adjust him all over the place, you know? But as you can see, then so I have to not only be cognizant of Evilkin's location, but also the placement of the actual stick, you know? So, you know, something to keep in mind. This is the anthem right here. So I'm getting talked into it by myself, bro. Looks like Goki slapping Ken's face. I feel that. I can't worry about that either, because once it's colored, then somebody's gonna overlap somebody, right? How I have it now, to where the characters that overlap is gonna be like the one that's in front, to the one that's most to the left is gonna overlap. I mean, it's gonna be in front. So the characters that are more to the right is going to be overlapped by the characters to the left, right? So that's kind of how I'm planning it. So I'm not worried about this because it's going to overlap. But at the same time, yeah, that's a good question, bro. That's a good question. No, this is yeah, it's Oni Akuma. It's Oni Akuma. It's Oni Akuma for sure, for sure. It's definitely Oni. So it's, yeah, that's the character I made to Street Fighter 4, honestly. I actually have a combo video of Oni. Not combo video, but like an offensive highlights video on my channel. You know, just collecting all the data from Street Fighter 4. I used to play that a lot, you know. But yes, Oni, man. For sure. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Cause if you think about Oni, I mean, his hair looks like a damn highlighter, you know? When it comes to how and he has a lot of striations in his muscles. It's gonna be pretty tough coloring him. That's gonna be the hard part of this guy, you know? So I'm looking forward to the challenge, bro. I'm gonna treat myself like a world warrior, bro. I'm looking forward to it. But it's gonna overlap in, but he's pushing himself using Hadouken, right? So that's gonna be tricky in terms of showing the effects of the hand flying in the air. Because in the Street Fighter 4 game, he can press a down forward punch motion in order to fly forward, fly back, or fly up. I mean, push himself forward or back. So he has like an air dash doing that. So there needs to be effects. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but we'll see. So yeah, this fireball situation is interesting. Well, obviously this will help if it's turned that way, clearly. Right? And then you just need to adjust the effects, really. You know. And try to make it somewhat even. Actually, you don't even need to do that. Hold on. I mean, you do, but this needs to be kind of adjusted right here. Kind of like that. Yeah, a lot of city pop in this playlist. There's actually a viewer on my stream who got me into this genre. So kind of like that. That's all you need. This is like throwing paint on there to see what sticks, what's a good type of, you know, you want to, there's no explanation to this, you just gotta see what fits, you know? You'll know it when you have it. Maybe kind of like that. And I always zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, just to try and get a better feel for what am I seeing, you know? Let's see. I love you, Sabretooth, but we gotta move out the way. Wait, where's... Oh, here he is. What would that be? No, first. Right there. Okay. I don't know. That's the first lesson, but even still, I do like the outline of him shooting a fireball. You know, I do like that. So I could do this, and then I could just make the tail shorter. I don't know. I shouldn't spend too long on this stuff. Something like that, maybe. Here's the design factor, though. You know, this would be better if I just do this, so I can have all of them on here, kind of like this. It looks so cluttered, but once it's cluttered, it looks better. So he's gonna be in the foreground. So I like how clicks with a paint you can make changes like that, and it'll still keep the like the layer off and on type of thing. So I'm just trying to see what works. What's going on? Oh, yeah, right there. Kind of like right here. Miguel looks chopped. You think he looks bad or good? Is that a bad thing? Or do you mean he looks chopped and he looks like brawny, or does he need to be better? Just curious. Hey, this is the time to speak before I make, before I start coloring and doing all that stuff. Here's the easiest time to change how they look. So, oh, bad lights needs to be worked on. Okay. Think so? I mean, I'm basing it on this Tekken 6 version though. His was it like luchador outfit, you know? You're not the first person to say that about Miguel in particular when I showed it to people. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it'll look good when it's colored. I think it'll look good. My only thing is that the head to body ratio is kind of messed up and the placement of the head. But it's admittedly kind of hard to see when there's just so much line. So once it's like flatted, then I'll see it better, you know? I mean, I don't know. For me personally, I think that the placement of the head and the size of it, something's off with it, you know? But at the same time, when I'm doing an artwork like this, it's important to be like, oh, it needs more detail. Yeah, yeah, probably. It's just that when you're doing an artwork like this, I can't focus on one person too much because there's a million people here. When it's a collage artwork, you can actually afford to not have your best on one particular character, you know, or else you would never finish it. I don't know, maybe. And the anatomy of the arm, I could do that better. And the shirt, I could definitely have more of a sense of flow. The reference was the worst I had for this Miguel, so this is pretty much just me drawing, to be honest with you. Well, but at the same time, X23, this was a very poor reference too. And I felt that came out good, you know? So that's not an excuse. I'll at least flat it and see how it looks, and then we'll see, you know. Anyway, I don't know about this. Actually, I do know about that. That's pretty. But should our case stick be a fireball? That wouldn't even make sense. It'd be better for a button to be like that, you know. So I'm gonna get the actual arcade stick. I'm gonna put this on. My filter thing, you can't see it probably, but oh, and then arcade sticks have washers, you know. So would you even see this? That's a good point, man. That's a good point. I don't know. He is doing a fireball motion though. Well, plenty of characters are doing attacks. You don't have to draw everyone's attack, you know. I'm just talking through my, you know, planning phase and stuff like that. You know, at the very least for Miguel, I can improve the shirt and the details within the shirt. I can make the wrinkles look better and more defined, you know. I do admit that. All right, so I think I'm going to not have a trail like this, but instead do this. Ooh, I don't know. Yeah, I think I mess with this more so. I think that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, I like that. I like that better. It's gonna be something like this. I don't need this, but his fireball sprite has these two little handles, you know? So I'm just gonna keep in spirit to the original. Of course, this is a moving character. So, really. That's another thing about us as artists. It's like, really, yeah, if you're streaming, you have a popular following, then you can just get feedback like that. But otherwise, you have to put your shit out there and seek, hey, is this good? But at the same time, us as artists, it's like, bro, you know, AI is waiting in the shadows, bro. It's waiting at every crevice, every street corner. As soon as you put that shit up there, it's gonna steal it, you know? And remember, it was already a problem for people to steal art without AI. This was before the time of AI. Now you have humans and AI that are both stealing art and not crediting you. Of course, you can put a watermark on there, but that never did anything, even before, again, AI. It's still better than nothing, though. So a lot of times as artists, at least for me, it's like you're hesitant to put stuff out there because you don't want it to get trained on, you know? Of course, people say that if you're not a popular artist, if you're not like Ross Draws or somebody else, then what are you worried about? Nobody's gonna look at your artwork, you know? But at the same time, it's an aggregate, you know what I mean? It's a combination of everything. It's petabytes of data, which includes your shit too. But at the same time, oh yeah, I love this song. Did I buy this on iTunes? I think I did. And yes, that robot emoji is apt for this conversation. So, but if you think about AI, it wants to do what most people are doing. If you're talking about political left, right wing things, it wants to pretend to be on both sides, and it will make an account on Twitter, and then it'll be talking to people as if it's a person, you know? When it comes to artwork, you'll see that a lot of AI just makes European fantasy ironclad art, you know what I mean? But it's gotten better, of course. They trained it to make Ghibli Studios style and various other things. But you notice it's just styles that are already known, you know? AI doesn't want to be unique. AI wants to be as least unique as possible in order to blend in, you know what I'm saying? So in that way, I shouldn't really worry about art theft if you're just an original artist who kind of does your own style, you know what I mean? I don't know, I think about that a lot. What unironically DSP said about AI was true. Oh, what did he say? I didn't see it. I like his opinions though. I like opinions of veterans, you know? Yeah, I'm liking this. I'm liking this outline for the fireball. I'm liking this. Ooh, man, this artwork's gonna look so good. You see the, hold on, I'm gonna show you something. I'm a master of digital art, man. I'm not the best, like, artist when it comes to anatomy perspective and all that. But when it comes to just digitally making graphics, then I can do that. I'm pretty good. I say graphic design. You know, I made my own stream setup, as you can see. So I know how to do digital effects, in my opinion. This fireball right here, you see how it has the outline? See how it has an outline? Man, this What's this called? I forgot. It's like a third-party plugin for Windows that gives you like different things, but it allows you to zoom in, so this is pretty useful. You see how it has red? Actually, I don't even have to tell you. How do you draw? Yeah, you do that. You see how it has red right here? Oh, actually, hold on. I can't. I can only draw with the mouse. Okay, sorry. You see how it has these red outlines? Ooh, that's terrible. Hold up. Red outlines right here. Man, I already know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get this exact effect, this bloom effect. It's gonna be crazy. That's all I gotta say. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited, man. But see, I literally don't know how long it's gonna take to color. I don't even know. But yeah, man, AI is. A lot of people are now saying the bubble's about to burst. AI is a temporary thing, you know. It takes a lot of energy to make. There's a lot of computers that are wasting resources and energy to get AI machines to run 24/7, just to inject slop into humanity, essentially. I don't even like using contemporary terms like that, because then you start thinking like the modern man. When you start using slop and yap and any other modern internet speech, then you start thinking like how the Phantom wants you to think, you know? And if you're trying to create something original, you need to be cognizant of many of those things, including the words you say, you know? Because it's kind of weird, because as humans, we're primates. And one of the things primates like to do is they like to be a part of the group. So if we see somebody unconsciously, we see somebody using a word, then we'll use that word. And you adopt speech of people who, how they talk around you. But since online is around everybody, it's very unnatural, right? Since everybody's online, then we adopt the speech of the major city centers of the online spectrum, which is Twitter, YouTube, and all that. So in a way, human speech in the West is way more boring than it was like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, just because of that. He says, cool, AI is helping people, but unfortunately they want to replace the fun or something equivalent to that. Yeah, they want you to be the dude who washes dishes and does laundry and cleans the house, and they want AI to be the one to do the philanthropic, artistic stuff. AI wants to draw the picture while you clean the living room, you know what I mean? They want you into the serf and the servant, while AI is the aristocrat. And why do you think the first airstrike of AI was against the artists? Once they dropped the bombs on the home front, where do you think the first airstrike was? Against digital artists. You know what I mean? Before they came for music, before they came for programming, before they came for IT, before they came for, the first airstrike was against digital painters, before animation, before 3D animation, before 2D animation. The first attack AI undertook was against the digital 2D painter, the activity where there is no shortcuts. You have to study and learn for years. You have to fail. You know what I mean? It's very rare to have a genius who's just good at painting, right? Most people are just normal, but most good artists aren't genius. They've just been doing it for a while. So it was to attack something that you can't cheat your way in and be provided a shortcut in order to gain access to brilliance and talent. That was the first thing AI struck, And these transhumanists, I'm gonna just say it, getting tinfoil hat, These transhumanists wants to evolve beyond humanity. They don't like humans, bro. So who the hell would invent something to replace a human. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe if you have an old car, if you have a car that you don't like, you want to replace it. If you have a shirt that has holes in it, you want to replace it. If you want to replace something, then you probably didn't like what you're replacing, or you probably find it outdated, right? You probably find it replaceable. Just think about that. Think about that train of thought when you think about how these companies literally make these applications and programs, not to mention the US government, that is now, we're going to pay, our tax money is going to go towards AI, right? In order to replace us and make us jobless. So that's now that's now going to be government backed, right? Which means that your money is going to be ransomed in order to provide a service that can replace you. Man, nah, I can't speak on. I gotta do what's in front of me, you know. I can't speak on all that. But man, I don't know. If I was more popular, I do want to have like a weekly podcast to talk about stuff like this. I was gonna call it Conspiracies and Concept Art. But it's hard for me to get people to want to talk about that. All right, I'm a nobody, honestly. So that's what they say, right? So it's hard for me to find people to do stuff like that. So this should be like right here, honestly. You just combine everything, the tech conglomerates, the NGOs, the CEOs, the presidents, the prime ministers, everything. But especially those in the tech field, certain people in the tech field, it all goes down to like your religion and what do you believe in life and stuff like that. And a lot of them start off as atheists, but inherently the problem is that they wield a lot of power and they don't believe the same things as you and me do. You know what I mean? They don't believe in universal law. They don't believe in the universal axioms that kind of most humans agree with, that, you know, the things that intersect with major religions, I guess. But fundamentally for the transhumanists, one opinion that they share is that they don't think humanity is special or they have innate worth. You know what I mean? This is not my tinfoil hat. It's just obvious. I mean, look at one element of that, which is AI. Look at what's happening, you know what I mean? And you can infer on how the opinions of people based on that, you know? But they don't feel people are inherently special, to boil it down to that. And they also feel that humanity is like a used old car that emits too much gas that needs to be replaced by an electric vehicle. That's their opinion of people. They're a drain and they're a source of strain on planet Earth. That's how they feel that people are. And if you feel like that, then what would be the type of things you'd invest in or you'd want to see happen? You know, anybody can. I don't even need to say it. Just fill in the blank. You know. Okay, this is getting better, but this is what we need to do here. It's not even. This is what we do. I mean, if I had there's a mirror ruler I could use to easily do this, but I don't like doing cheats like that. You want to do things. See, even what I'm talking about now, it directly has to do with what I was talking about, transhumanism. Same thing. It's like consciously making an effort to be as traditional as possible, even though I'm drawing digitally. I could use a symmetry ruler and draw, you know, how would I even do that? I haven't used it so long, I don't even remember where it's at. And when it comes to where is that? Okay, that'd be layer. What would that be? I seriously don't even know where it's at. A symmetry ruler? Perspective ruler? Damn, where is that? Right here? Maybe? No? There's a ruler. There's a ruler little subfolder here. Right here. Symmetry ruler. Right here. Bam. And then you draw on one side, it draws on the other side like that. So I can easily do that. New layer. Move that here. Move the symmetry tool here. How would I do that? I don't even know. Angle right here. Well, you get what I'm saying. And then I can just draw here and then try and do like that. And if I take this off, then this will be much easier to do this and use digital drawing how it's intended, how God intended, right? And then bam, bam. Look how easy that'd be if I did that, you know? That'd be so easy, right? To use a symmetry ruler. And honestly, that don't even look bad. But what happens when you do stuff like this? If you use it too much, then eventually it starts looking uncanny. If I make a face like this, you know? If I make a face like that, eventually it won't look right. And there'll be something that looks off about it because nature, you know, nature in general is asymmetrical, right? You know what I'm saying? It'll be something inhuman about it. That's the crazy part about drawing. It's drawing is life, you know? And this is the problem when you look at AI art. There's something inhuman about it. It looks perfect. But people don't understand that the imperfections of the human hand creates the art. That is part of the process, you know? That was a small rant. Sorry. Here we go. So yeah, I mean, that's just an example. See, in a spurt, it looks, but this just looks like clip art. It's like newspaper art. If I were to get more detailed, then it's not going to look right, you know? That don't look bad though. So I can do it. Now that I already have something like this, I could probably do what I'm talking about, right? So I would. Yeah, you guys see what I'm saying. I'm gonna shut up now. What's the easy way to rotate this? And matter of fact, now that I'm here, I'm just gonna use it. Why not? Everything about it is just so unnatural. Okay, I gotta get it, you know, try to make it the halfway point, you know, make it line up. I think this is pretty good. And now I'm going to trace this, but we're gonna color that in blue, turn down the opacity, and then we'll kind of do that. All I'm saying is don't rely on it. If any artists are watching this on the replay, whatever, I'm not saying don't rely on specific digital art tools. It's always better in the long run to draw manually. The art's gonna look better. We as people can tell that it's drawn by a real person. Just like we as people can tell something is AI. For now. You know? Similarly, an AI can make a very convincing picture and you may not be able to tell it's AI. But if an AI tries to make a sequential set of pictures, like a comic, then you'll easily be able to tell it's AI. When it starts trying to do a story, when it starts trying to do sequential imaging, when it starts trying to do an animation, anything long form, the longer it is, the more you're going to be able to tell AI. Same thing as the symmetrical tool. The more I use it, the more you're going to be able to tell that this is a digital drawing. You know what I'm saying? That's something I noticed. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice right there. That's not that bad. Right here. And I'm just gonna trace over it. But I don't know. See, this is the problem. It doesn't flow. It's just, you know what I mean? It's always too rigid when you're using stuff like this. And you end up having to go over it. So now that's better. That's a nice curve, you know? And I kind of want to increase the size of this. Also, this is interesting because I kind of mess up the shape on this. Since I changed like the size of it, it's not gonna be perfect. What is this? Damn it. The command bar, that's what it is right here. So I'm just gonna delete that a little bit. Maybe, I don't know, I might delete this. Not bad, not bad. Not bad, we'll keep that for now. That's cool. That's cool. You know, a lot more to do. Let's see. So next one will be Charlie, and I'm just making sure the width of the line work is kind of even enough, you know. Which I'm already cool with how he looks like. Of course, you can just close the gaps, you know. Close the gaps, that'd be cool. But remember, no one, including you, the maker of it, is looking this detail, so you don't need to spend too long on stuff like this. You know? So I'm just gonna, you know, make sure it's closed, right? Line work is already good. Just make sure in terms of the overlap of stuff. Even for little stuff like this, I'm not erasing all that. That doesn't, the roughness is good. Again, what I said about AI art versus human art. Imperfections, stray marks, that's part of the thing, you know? A lot of times that gives it character. So I'm not doing every stray mark. That's good. Boom, right there. Yeah, you guys kind of get what I'm doing. This is the boring work, but we're just prepping the line work for coloring, essentially. And then we're adding like rendering outlines for once we color, then that's going to be important, you know. This is a round thing. Making sure we know what we're drawing to. This is a round thing, so yeah, I think it's about good. Also, what was I just drawing on? Okay. Yeah, so I think it's about good. Make sure it's not too rough. What I like about thick line brushes like this is that you can really sculpt it, and by erasing, you can make the line work. Kind of like inking, you know? So for things like this, obviously, if it's tangents and stuff, then obviously I'm gonna have to erase that. Yeah. Like this, for instance, this is hold up. Like this is not a finger has nails and stuff. This is not a real finger, but again, you're looking at it from here, it doesn't really matter. You know, it's just getting the point across. So I'm just gonna make sure that you can't see through things, you know? Like this whole thing is a hand. So you know you gotta erase all that. In the process, you might see that you made some mistakes along the way. And obviously, this is straight from reference. There's no way I'm going to do a hand this complicated, you know. But to be fair, this is the pinky finger, because this obviously this is from like a in-game animation of a move, so you want to stretch it. But here, you don't want the pinky to be this long, to be honest with you. It should be like this. Not always depending on the reference, you know. I can see why they made the pinky that big, to provide clarity. I can see why. Because this is like, whatever, you know? So we'll enlarge it a little bit. The more I draw from Marvel vs. Capcom 2 art, the more I realize people who did this game were artistic geniuses. When I'm actually like carefully referencing it, you know? They understood all this stuff. Anyway, let's keep going. You know, so so yeah, I think it's cool. Admittedly, this one's more rough. This Charlie one. This is a hard thing to draw. Can you take off Evil King? Bam, nice. Let's keep going. Let's finish this up. Bam, bam. Whatever. Let's go. Okay. And so one thing I am noticing is that the line work to this foot is kind of smaller than the rest. So I'm just gonna kind of go. I'm just gonna outline it, really. Fuck it, I'm just gonna outline it. You can tell from this in particular, this is not as thick. This one right here, you want to thicken it a little bit, you know. Cool. And that's, you know, I can rock with that, really. And then kind of go bam, 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 bam. Make sure the outline is a little more thick. I'm not really placing too much stock on that stuff, but just do a little bit in order to have, you know, See, now it just looks infinitely better. Just do a little more. No. And there, I'm cool with that. It doesn't really matter to me. So I think that's going to be obstructed by Evil Ken anyway. All right. Well, most of it is. Then we add a layer for rendering, actually. All right. Damn, this is gonna take a long time. Unless I'm streaming. But I think the future characters are already kind of good to go. This is the first character I started drawing when I wasn't quite sure what brush I was going to use and stuff like that. So I'm just following the rendering of the reference, really. I can change it later. You know, I just have a thinner line and I just do that. So obviously I'm going to color stuff like this, and it's going to provide where the highlights and the shadows are going to go. And I'll change it based on the lighting source, which I should think about that stuff now, but you know, I already kind of know it's gonna be like Marvel 2 lighting. This is why I have the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 concept art palette in the back. Not bad at all. I'm just impressed by the reference. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, man. There's so many things behind the scene that makes it good. If you stare at, as an artist, you stare at, you know, the frames, that you can kind of tell, man, these people are good. You know. That's not cool. That's just, I don't know what that is actually. Whatever. This shoot, man, these people did so much. Again, I'm just so enamored. A game with like freaking nearly 60, like 50 something characters in the game, right? And I'm literally just copying the rendering from this game. I don't know, a single sprite, and it's just so much. Like, how much time do they spend on this? You know? Incredible. It's incredible. And in the game, he doesn't have his glasses, which I can kind of see why. It honestly doesn't make sense for someone with glasses to be fighting, unless it has like a strap on it or something. It just doesn't make sense. Extra work and it's less believable. End of the day, you want believability, you know. So there's a lot going on for him. We're not gonna get too wrapped up in everything, you know. Don't get too wrapped up in everything. Just kind of do a little rendering on the you know, muscles and stuff. You know, that's just a little something, you know. Rendering on the coat. What I mean by rendering is just lines to designate where highlights and shadows will go in the future, you know. And rendering lines are good just to make it look more filled in, you know. See how much more filled in the leg looks like, you see? Essentially, yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's about it for this guy. When I say that's about it, they're ready to go. They're ready to be shipped, you know, for the coloring phase. And again, it's a very complex in this little area. Make sure just the overlap is not there, really. Make sure to overlap, bam, bam. Overlap here with the main bang. Right there. And yeah. Wow, YouTube warns you live that, hey, you might be playing copyrighted music or something like that. That's cool. At least on the OBS YouTube thing. Yeah, I think we're good here. What about the shoe? Just gotta make sure it's closed, really. Those are requirements. And yeah, we're good with that guy. Oh, where's his eyebrows? Well, what's going on here? Damn, that already looks much better. See, this is when you have to whip out the actual Charlie concept sketch beyond the in-game frame. So I'm just gonna type in Charlie. Well, I need to go my pictures, really. Let's see. This is probably the last thing I'm gonna do, then I'll be out of here. Video games, Marvel's Capcom 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 concept art. there's 2 series. So I'm gonna look at something like this, you know? Something like this. And then you gotta think kind of, you know, just to see kind of how he looks like in the game you're depicting, right? Then we have to always on top. There's another one too. Can't really find it. No, he has another one. I don't know where he's at right now. Whatever. It's cool. Okay. Make it face the same way. Make it face the same way. This is so boring, but a little thing requires research, right? Shoo, shoo. Bam, bam. Just to make sure his eyebrows are how you're drawing it, you know? You know what I'm saying? And then just fill that with black. Because this artistic work is going to be very graphic. It's going to be, you know. But bam, that's all I need right there. I just want to see how it is, you know. That's all. Now I'm looking at it again. It's always something to do in drawing. It's like, when do you know when you're done? To be fair, this nose needs to be higher. To be fair, again, consult the OG. Oh, I just deleted it. That's not cool. Where was it at? Oh, here's another one too. Here's a better one. But you see, his nose is long. Okay, you know, that represents kind of how he looks like in the official concept. You know, but if you're like doing an action shot, your nose is gonna pitch up. You know, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You know, I'm gonna worry about it to that detail. I think it's good based on the concept. You know, I think it's cool. Ooh, look what I almost missed. There's other things I can do here. And look, you see in the official concept, his hair is like this. It's like that, if you see that. Well, obviously it's not that long, but you know, it's like this, if you think about it. But why isn't it like that? Why did the artist choose to do this? Obviously because of arcs and because of motion. This is a better continuous motion when it comes to the hair, and it reads better. It reads better when it's a high-speed frame. This frame is not being held. This is what 2XKO doesn't understand in newer fighting games. Every frame matters, and your readability is important, you know? So a lot of these new games that have better animation, looks better, the animation isn't readable because they're not thinking how what you're seeing here with Marvel's Capcom, you know? To where we need to, the hair aids in the readability, you know? If it's something fast like a kick to where it's just going down real quick in the actual game, you know? So we don't need all these tangents. We don't need all that, like in the actual art, you know? So we're literally going to change. We're literally going to change the character's look, canon look, to better serve the animation, because we are making a fighting game, you know? Like the in-game animation takes precedent over anything else, even how the character actually looks, you know? Because remember, you see in the concept he has glasses. In the game he does not have glasses at all, and they look like prescription glasses too, so they look pretty important, you know? That's all I want to say. I think I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. Is there anything else I missed? Whoa. Is there anything else I missed? Sorry, what is this? Uh-oh. Yeah, and so I'm gonna delete this. Ooh, delete that. Bam, son. And yeah. Maybe color this red, maybe. But yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna be a lot more progress by the time I get out here